Okay, hey, confident mamas and mamas to be, welcome to the Practical Pregnancy, where we talk about practical things in your pregnancy from a fear-free lens. Our goal here is to give you evidence-based information from our experience working with women just like you over the past 50 years combined between myself and Sandy, who's obviously not in this video because last I checked, I'm alone. Anyway, so thanks for joining us. If you like the content that we're putting out here, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps us get more reach and give you more information. Improves our algorithm on the YouTubes. So welcome. Today, we're going to talk about your due date. What exactly is a due date? Many of you have those pregnancy apps, those calculators that help you figure out your due date. And I want to just shed a little bit of light on ways to think about your due date that will leave you feeling less stressed. We put a lot of importance on the due date and the baby having to come by that date or on that date. So just of note, only about 5 to 10% of babies will be born on their actual due date. It's a pretty low number, although it does happen and it's pretty fun when it does, but mostly your baby's going to be born around that day. That day gives us kind of a date to shoot for when we know kind of how to help you manage your pregnancy, and gives us kind of an average of when the baby will be full term. So full term pregnancy is anywhere from 37 weeks gestation to 42 weeks gestation. Before 37 weeks, it's considered preterm or late preterm, depending on how preterm you are. And after 42 weeks, it's considered post-term. And certainly there's risks and increased possible difficult situations that can occur before 37 weeks and that can occur after 42 weeks. So today we're going to just focus on the fact that your due date is that average. 40 weeks is considered the due date, and giving birth anywhere between 37 and 42 weeks is considered normal. So one thing to think about is you might get a lot of pressure from the people around you who are super excited that your baby's going to be born. And you might find you're getting phone calls daily and, they're kind of stressing you out because you're also feeling a little bit of anticipation and maybe even a little bit of anxiety waiting for your baby to come. And you're not feeling very patient. And you've got people over here who are super excited and they're just adding to that anxiety that you're already feeling. So one thing to think about is you can put some boundaries in place with your loved ones and your family and your friends prior to your due date and say, hey, I'm going to let you know when the baby's born. And sometimes you might have to be like a little bit of tough love where you're just going to say to them, hey, please don't text me every day. Please don't call me every day asking if I've had the baby. I will let you know when the baby comes, because you really want to try and decrease your own stress around the due date. And the way due dates are calculated, most of you, again, are going to use an app, and the apps are great. The old school way of doing it before we had apps, like when Sandy and I started this gig as midwives, we didn't even have cell phones frankly, we didn't have cell phones. So like from the dark ages, man. But the way we used to do it is you take the first day of your last period, subtract 3 months, add 7 days if your cycles are typically a 28-day cycle, give or take some days if they're longer or shorter than usual. So you can kind of confirm what your app is telling you by doing your own math that way. It's kind of fun. It's good mental exercise. And, largely we still rely on women's knowledge of their body and of their cycles to know when their due date actually is. That said, many communities like my own have really gone to rely on technologies such as the dating ultrasound, which takes measurements of your baby as they're developing and puts them into some averages and gives you fairly accurate date. Now, ultrasound is getting better and better. That technology is improving all the time, but there still can be a margin of error. So that's also why we have this pretty wide 5-week window between 37 weeks and 42 weeks of when it's kind of like a normal time for your baby to be born. So don't stress, don't fret, have your due date nailed down as closely as you can get. Trust your own body and what it will do. And that's a little bit about your due date. Hope that's helpful. Hopefully that information is useful to you, and see you again in the next video. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. It really helps us continue to bring you more practical information, free from fear and hopefully useful to you. See you in the next video.